it's just, I don't know. It's just, when you think about celebrity and you think about just the kind of level of like perceived like ownership that like the general public has over like a celebrity's life, you know?
And the fact that the lengths they go to stay like relevant and famous, because like you're doing all this to your face and your body, and you don't even really like want to be that way. You're just doing it because you feel like that's how you gotta make your money. OnlyFans, so you gotta have a big old booty.
I mean, well, like fame is kind of a drug, you know?
Definitely.
I mean, that kind of like relevancy, like that kind of that level of attention. I mean, that's hard to let go of once you've had a taste of it.
Yeah, once you get it, so it's like hey, you gotta just keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's always so weird when like a celebrity makes like a personal life decision. You know, something is like personal. It's like I'm changing. Something as personal. It's like I'm changing the way I look. But then people, you know, and I guess that's kind of like the price you pay. That's just like the nature of the beast of like being like a public figure. Like everyone's gonna have an opinion. Everyone's gonna like have something to say. But it just, I don't know. It feels like there's a degree into which it's like, okay, this like let this person like live their life.
And then like she's trying to be healthier. She got the butt injections. Like you can die from butt injections. So she got them taken out. She got the feeling like that's all like ways to be a better person. And y'all mad?
Hold on.
Better.
Hold on. How do you think this would taste? This. And the ice cream?
That's like when you put ice cream in french fries, so it should be good.
I always hated that, but you know what? Why not? Let's see if this actually turns out pretty well. No, I'm serious. Let's do it. Okay. It's not bad. I wouldn't do this all the time, but like, it's not bad. But yeah, I mean, like,
real, like, cause I know like younger people, they hype stuff up and it ain't really that hype. So is Twitter like hyping up the sex scene, or is it really like?
I mean, you're asking my opinion on the sex scene. I mean, all I gotta say is, like I said, God's got favorites, and Damson Idris is apparently one of them. Because like, not only does he get to do that scene with Chloe Bailey, but he's also dating Lori Harvey. Or what?
I heard they broke up.
Still, you guys to date her for like, I don't know, like a month or something. But that's all I'm saying is that God's got favorites, and he's certainly one of them.
So,
but that's not the point of the show, though.
Right. Okay.
The point of the show is that it's meant to be, at least it tries to be, like a critique and examination of just like obsessive of like celebrity culture, of like the concept of like stan culture.
Okay.
And I think that's a really good idea. Like, it's a really good idea. The idea of, like, a literal, like, killer stan. Like, the idea of, like, somebody, like, a stan, like, hanging around social media, finding people who have bad takes about their favorite celebrity, and then stalking them and killing them. That's a really clever idea.
Okay. But you know what? I feel like he always pushed the envelope, so...
I mean, but it's a really good idea, and just like it offers like that's a really interesting thing to talk about. Right. The concept of like extreme fandom. At what point does like your love of something define like your entire identity? You know, how much?
And that's how these fans be, like Beyonce fans. Who else? I got cursed out by a lot of like fan groups, like the Kardashian fans. They really like that, like. The Rihanna fans like that.
But I mean, in the show, it's clearly Beyonce. It's clearly like a sentiment of the Beehive. I mean, just look at the name, you know? So, but the problem is, I think that like, and did you see the whole series, or?
I haven't watched it yet. I just heard stuff. I've been hearing mixed reviews. Like, some people like, I don't like it.
It's really good in some parts, but I think it doesn't go far enough, you know?
And that's something he said it started off slow, so they have to like go back and watch it. Like,
well, it doesn't really start, it starts off slow, but like, it doesn't really like. It doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Like it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it's one story. Because, like I said, I don't want to spoil it. But it's basically this like. So it's basically like this. Okay, how do I describe it?
You can spoil it. I'm watching either way.
Okay, so it's about this girl named Dre, and her entire life is like defined by her love of like basically this Beyonce stand-in, like this Beyonce level pop star. It's all she ever talks about. It's all she ever thinks about. And it's kind of like how a lot of people are with like the things they love nowadays. It's like, again,
I guess yeah, tuck it, do it the opposite way.
do it the opposite way. Okay.
I think it's way in it's down.
So like this.
Yeah. You tuck it in. Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
That.
this.
There we go.
Okay. This isn't too close to my throat or anything.
That's supposed to be like that.
No, perfect. But yeah, basically, so you've got this girl. She's like super obsessed with this like Beyonce stand-in. Her life's kind of like not really going anywhere. Like she's like lives with like her foster sister / best friend, which is Chloe Bailey.
Okay.
And basically, one bad thing happens to another. One bad thing after another happens, and then she basically snaps.
Okay.
She snaps. She commits murder.
So like, who is she murdering though?
I mean, really, it's a certain people in like the first couple of episodes, but for the rest of the show, it's basically like she finds like certain people who have quote unquote bad takes about like her favorite artist, and she basically just like uses the internet to like stalk them, find them, and kill them.
Wow.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, like it takes a left turn because I think it's 7 or 8 episodes. Like around episode 5, it takes like a left turn, and it's pretty interesting, but I feel like it doesn't say enough of what it could have said, you know? Like I said, it's meant to be like an examination of like the concept of like modern day celebrity and like the modern fan and like what is a stan?
Right.
And like how far is too far for your love of something? That's interesting. That's relevant, that's interesting, that's something like a lot of people can kind of connect with. But the only issue is that it doesn't say much about that. You know what I mean?
Okay. So it's like you get the idea of it, but it doesn't explore it.
It doesn't go far enough.
Okay.
I guess that's kind of my thing. It doesn't really go far enough when it comes to that.
Okay.
So,
I'll watch it though. Everybody has so many different.
I mean,
opinions.
it looks great. It's like really disturbing, but in like a positive way, like the same way like people would like a good horror movie.
Okay.
You know, it's shot really well. The performances are incredible.
So do you think like black people are really getting into the whole like psychological part of like the whole horror like thing?
Well, I mean, it's historically a genre where like black people have either been like some of the very first people to die.
You get killed first.
Yeah, some of the very first people to die, or they become like increasingly marginalized, or they're just not there at all.
Okay.
You know, and like good horror, like really, really good horror, takes inspiration from like the anxieties and fears of like the society of today, right? And so I think that's what made like something like Get Out so successful.
Right.
Was that like it took that kind of concept. I think Jordan Peele kind of like got the idea from like when he was meeting like his wife's in-laws for the first time.
White,
right, Chelsea Peretti. And so like he took that idea and was like, well, what if I like kind of explored that idea of like being the only black person in like a mostly white space.
Yeah.
You know, and just like the fear and the anxiety that kind of comes with that. And so I think that's what makes good horror. And I think, like I said, it's a really good, original, solid idea. I just didn't think it went far enough.
Because I mean, I've had this conversation before. Why do you think like men who are like super pro-black end up marrying white women?
I don't know.
Because like all the really like I can say Jordan Peele is like really pro-black. Donald Glover is like really like pro-black, and they're married to white women.
I mean, does being pro-black automatically mean that you have to marry a black woman?
I mean, in the sense of being pro-black, yeah.
I mean, you can still be pro-black, but does that like prohibit you from like loving somebody who looks different than you?
I mean, no, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't. But then you would think that if you're so pro-black, you want to make a black family, you want to keep your black money with the black, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think the two are mutually exclusive.
Okay.
You know, seriously, I think that like you can still be pro-black, you can still like advocate for black causes, but that doesn't necessarily have to restrict your life to like such a degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean clearly because that's what's happening, so I get it. But I'm just wondering your take on that.
What do you think?
I would like to see, and it's just my own would like to see it. Like you said, it doesn't have to be like mutually exclusive, but my whole thought is that if you're like pro-black, like let's make sure black people get the money, let's take care of black, and you want to raise like if you're so successful like that, you want to make sure that your money is staying within the generation of black people.